I can tell you that all of them are my size and all of them lift way more weight than I can. And I'm a pretty strong dude. I could come over the middle like a couple times and then I would be like, take me
You
out.
would have
I'm done.
18 songs on your new album. How long are you sitting in the studio?
Oh man, some of these songs are like 4 years old. That's the crazy part about this record. Some of them are 4 years old, some of them are 2 years old. There's one that just made it like right at the last minute, and it, I mean totally last minute, and I had to like jump in the studio and be like, we gotta come on, let's knock this out. But it's been a fun process for me, and I actually enjoyed that I had the amount of time that I had to make this record. Um, I don't think it would be the same album if I'd tried to make it in a shorter span of time. I know it wouldn't have, but it's just sometimes the having the patience part sucks.
I was gonna say, what's the mindset of sitting on a song for 4 years? Is that like, can we get this on? Can we get this thing rolling here? Can we get this thing recorded and out the door? Or, like, how do you just sit there and say, oh, we got plenty of time, don't worry about it?
Part of it is the last album taking so long to come out because obviously 2020 happens and then so everything sort of gets pushed. Uh, and I already had an album out at that point, so we were releasing tracks off of that, and then Famous Friends comes out, and then At the End of a Bar comes out. So it's like it pushes all of this stuff down the road. So I'm working on all that the entire time that everybody's hearing these songs that are like from way back, you know? Uh and it's sometimes it's frustrating because you sit there and you're like, I want everybody to hear the new stuff that I just wrote like last week. And sometimes that can't or shouldn't happen because it's like you don't want to take attention away from new songs, and especially songs that you pick as singles. You still want to like drop other stuff to stream, but you have to make space for that video or that song. um so it's just it's a juggling act a little bit.
Now, as an artist, are you insecure as far as the finished product? Do you look at it and say, this is number one song, or you look at I don't want to look at it anymore. I don't know if it's good or bad. How does that work for a
You
top
know
song?
what? What you just said is actually like key to how you have to look at it, in my opinion. And I cannot remember who this quote is attributed to, but art is never finished, it's just abandoned. You get to a certain point and you're like, all right, I've touched this enough, I've done enough with it. If I keep doing it, I can do it forever. I could keep tweaking things for a million years and never feel like it's perfect, because art isn't perfect and art is subjective. So you get to a point where you're like, all right, I've done my job. I like this. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let everybody else say, hey, do you like this or not? It's up to y'all.
Then what is the key then to putting the pen down, saying, I'm done, let's get this thing out the door? Because
I have no idea. I honestly, that's so frustrating of an answer to you, but it's even when you're writing a song, I always think you should go back and edit if you need to, but there's also the line of like, where do you stop editing? Because you could edit forever. Like you really could. You could just continue to edit something into oblivion and change it completely. Uh, but it's one of those things where you just sort of have to put the pin down, like you said, and just go, all right, that's enough.
well, was there ever a song that you heard back maybe a year later, 2 years later, and said, "Oh, you know what? If I change the lyrics to this, they would have been so much better."
No, but I've actually had friends of mine, and I just one time in particular, there was a friend of mine that's a songwriter that absolutely hated one of my lyrics in a song, and it crushed me because I'm like, dude, I respect you so much and you don't like this lyric. That bothers me to my core. because I trust this person implicitly as far as it comes to being an incredible songwriter.
Name names. Please name the song. That's good.
So actually, it's that one right there, which that's the 1 million plaque. It's actually triple platinum. It may be quadruple platinum at this point. I don't know. I haven't checked, but uh, I'm coming over, and it was my buddy Johnny Bulford who actually wrote a song that I cut called "Lonely Eyes" that was also a really big hit. And I was just like so distraught because he was like, I don't like this one lyric that you did. And I'm like, dang it. And I was like, I already put it out, man. Like I can't change it now. And ends up it didn't matter. But
Does that eat at you as an artist? Is that something we're known from our 20,000 great reviews? That one guy that says, I don't like it. Does that eat at you more than all the accolades?
no. And it's the look, my favorite thing in the world is don't feed the trolls, right? There's always going to be somebody that's unhappy with you, that doesn't like you, that and it sucks. It really does. You don't want to see people saying that they don't like you or that they don't agree with what you think, but if you put yourself out there, that's just how it's going to be. And especially with music, which is very subjective. Sorry, like there's going to be people that don't like your music. You know how many times I've seen something roll across reels or TikTok or a video of some kind that says they hate country music. Okay, so be it. But I'm going to keep making music until the day I die.
Well, when you're in the gym and you hear your song over the loudspeakers, do you sing along to it or do you turn station?
No, no. And my trainer did this the other day. He put the music on over the speakers, and I was just like, dude, you're killing me, man. Come on. And the other guys in the gym were singing along to it. And I was just like, oh, crap. Here we go.
Does he do that a lot to you or?
No. And it was the new song. It was Young Love and Saturday Nights, which is the title of the album that drops on March 22nd. And I was just like, you're a butthole. Like,
Well, with that, going into your workouts, into your training now, told that you lost 60 pounds. Before I even ask that question, how did you gain 60 pounds? How was that process like?
You know what? Both of them are a war of attrition, man. It takes time to do that, and it is just eating stuff you shouldn't eat and not going to the gym. And look, I had pizza the other night at my house. I had one piece of pizza, not an entire pizza in the middle of the night. And Lord knows, like I'm still like right now as I sit here, I'm 6'4", like 255. And I'm definitely not a tight end in the NFL. Because those are the guys that I work out with alongside. Like a bunch of those guys go into the gym and work out where I work out, like Tight End University in Nashville that happens every year. That's George Kittle and like all those guys. They work out with Jeremy Holt, who's one of my trainers. And Jeremy was laughing at me the other day because I was just like, I hadn't been in the gym because I don't know if you heard about this, but TABC officer tried to falsely arrest me. So I was just waiting for all of that to get done and then started going back. And the very first day I'm in there, of course, all of the guys that are trying to make it into the NFL are back in there because it's the off season. And I'm like, all right, I must put up my max. Like and just like totally and just ripped everything apart. It was just like the next 3 days, like this everywhere I went. I was like, I can't move.
Well,
But it's fun. I enjoy it.
well, since you brought it up, Did all the tight ends at the gym, did they all like cheer you on, say, go fight the man? Or did they just back off a
Oh,
little bit from you?
no, I walked in and they were like, "You suing him?" And I'm like, look, as long as that gets dealt with and they deal with that guy, that one guy, uh, I'm good. I mean, the DA dropped the charges pretty fast once the videos came out. It was a very interesting thing for me, but now I have a cool mugshot, so there's that.
So any t-shirts on in the
Oh
forthcoming?
yeah, no, they're already being made. Don't worry.
Send them out to Phoenix here. I definitely want one of those for sure.
I will send you one for
So
sure.
what,
I will send you
what
one.
do you learn from tight end training when you're in a room full of tight ends and you're a country singer? What do you guys all have in common, and what do you like learn from these guys?
I can tell you that all of them are my size and all of them lift way more weight than I can. And I'm a pretty strong dude. But that is just everybody that sits in their chair at the house and watches people play football. I'm telling you right now, when you're like, oh, I can do that. No, you can't. I could come over the middle like a couple times, and then I would be like, take me out. I'm done.
Did you play in
Those
high school
guys
there?
are no, I never did. I never played. I decided I wanted to be in choir and drama class instead of doing any of that. It worked out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which one of these tight ends that you look at and say, wow, this guy, wow, if I had a training regimen this guy has, or this guy just a beast?
Actually, there's a buddy of mine, Skit, who has played, he's like bounced around from team to team, and trains in there, and he is insane. Like the amount of weight this guy puts up for being the size he is incredible. And he was a free agent this year. Hopefully he gets a job next year, but he's just like an incredible dude and insanely strong. And one of the other trainers in there, honestly, puts up more weight than just about anybody I've seen in that gym, and it is wild. But one of my favorite things is, those guys will just be like, the minute you walk in the gym, they'll be like, "Let's go!" Like just that environment and that like excitement when you walk into the gym, as opposed to just walking into a gym by yourself. It makes all the difference in the world.
Which gym is this?
I don't want to say where they do it, but
Okay.
I mean, I guess people could probably figure out if they wanted to, but um, this is something that his company does all year long, and I think they start at like 7:30 in the morning or 8 in the morning. I mean, I'm not going at 8 in the morning. I can tell you that. I'm not a morning person. I need to like go have breakfast and like wake up and have some coffee and I mean, just
Now,
I've gotta do that first. I can't just go straight to the gym in the morning. And I know some people love that, but I'm like, give me like 11 o'clock. Like give me that window.
is that by design, or is that just because the way your schedule revolves around touring and all that fun stuff?
So not even touring, but normally songwriting. That's normally the way that my schedule works out. Now there have been times where it's like I've got to write at 10:30, 11, and I go to the gym at 9, but I'm dragging at that point. I'm, I'm in there and I look like the saddest human being in the world, but I'm just trying to get it in.
Okay, great transition though, because I've asked other country singers this before and about their singing, the writing schedule, and a lot of them say it just comes whenever. There's no set schedule. I may go walk and it may hit me, or I may come something else. What is your schedule like? Is it like a 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, or do you have like a 9 to 5
I
job
don't
at that?
know who I don't know who you talk to, but I feel like that they lied to you. Most people
Really?
in Nashville write either like 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. and that's sort of a set schedule. and they meet somewhere, and it's like on your calendar. And now when you get your ideas, might be like, hey, I went for a walk and I got an idea for this song, and I sat down and started to write it. um and there's no set schedule once you get to a write of how you're going to write. One day it might be me on guitar by myself, and everybody else is in the room throwing out ideas. One day it might be me at my buddy Chris DiStefano's house, who he has just this fantastic, gigantic studio in the bottom of his house. And he might be leading with the instrumentation because he's a way better player at everything than I am. This guy, like, I've got a song called "At the End of a Bar." Uh, every single instrument on that track is DiStefano playing every single instrument. He's just wild. He's way too talented, and I hate him a little bit. But it's just every day has to be sort of malleable. But normally you start at 11 a.m. for a co-write in Nashville.
But how important is it to keep that routine going, not say, well, I feel like writing today, but you know what, tomorrow I may have something to do, so I'm going to skip it, come back 2 days later.
I mean, it's the same thing as going to the gym. A routine is a routine, and then if you break it, you got to get back into it. So, uh, I don't think it's hard for me because I love creating music and I love the whole process and songwriting and everything else. So it's just sort of, hey, this is par for the course today. Like we're doing the thing. We're gonna make some money, hopefully, and definitely gonna make some music.
Do you do it
So,
alone, or do you in a collaboration with the rest of your band?
oh, that's normally a collaboration, and it's normally just a lot of the people in Nashville. So, even on this album, I would like have to count up how many writers are alongside me on some of these songs, uh, like from top to bottom, because first of all, there's 18 tracks on this record on Young Love and Saturday Nights, and it was 4 years in the making. So there's a whole lot of people: Ashley Gorley, Chris DiStefano, Corey Crowder, just so many guys that I'll sit down in a room with and try to create songs. uh Emily Weisband, who she's fantastic. Just a lot of people I've been lucky to get to know.
When you say when you have 4 years, 4 years of writing an album, and some people say if you're writing every day or most of the time, and you only got 18 songs, how long does it take to write a song? And like how many
Oh, no,
rewrites,
no,
how
no,
many things
no.
are scrapped on
I
the
could
floor?
I could make a quadruple album if we were calling this one a double album very easily. Uh there's I've already got most of the next record written right now. But some of the songs do get left sort of on the cutting room floor, as they would say, I guess. Uh, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like some days you go in, you write a song, and you're just like, no, I got better. Like there's some days you go into the gym and you have a bad day, and you're just like, I'm just trying to get through it today. Some days you go in, you crush it. It's just like any other job, really. You're not always going to be 100% at your best. And some of the other day that I signed to my publishing company, my buddy Ty Graham said it absolutely the best. He was like, if there was a formula to writing songs, there would be one person doing it, and they would have all of the number ones in the world, and they would never tell anybody else. It would just be their formula on how to write number one songs. So I don't know. It's just always a toss up of maybe that day you write a song and then you listen to it the next day and you're like, it was all right. Like that was good. And then some days you wake up and you listen to the song, you're like, holy crap, like that's got to be the first single. And moments that happen like that are magic.
And does some of that like lead to the weight gain as far as just sitting in front of a desk or just collaborating? I don't know, just throwing some Jack Daniels bottles around and just being nice. I mean, is that part of it?
I don't think so. I think that's definitely like when you, at least for me, and I think it's different for everybody, right? Everybody has their own journey and their own thing with weight gain or weight loss. Um, when I'm happy and I'm enjoying my life, it's a lot easier for me to just drop weight and go to the gym and you know be in a healthier space. Some people look at it with, the Michael Jordan mentality where they're like, oh, the world's against me and I'm just gonna go against them. Here we go. I, I don't do as well with that. So I guess right now I'm just in a really happy place as an artist, as a person, and just enjoying my life.
Well, what was the final straw that said, hey, now it's time to lose that 60 pounds? What made you go all in?
I could show you the photo. I just was like, oh, that is not what I thought I looked like. I need to fix that.
So, so what was the process like from there? What did you guys have to go undertake?
You know what? I think the biggest thing for me was getting into lifting heavier weight and not trying to do as much cardio. I still do cardio, but it's not my primary source of weight loss anymore. And also a lot more cooking. I love to cook personally. I enjoy it. And there's just something about if you're at the house and you're cooking your own food, you seem to lose weight, especially if you're cooking, I'll do like lemon pepper grilled chicken and broccolini and like, you know, anything else is aside, mushrooms, like for example. Eh, as long as you're doing like a good mix of stuff and making what you want to make, the biggest thing for me is calories in versus calories out. Protein has to be forward. Um, and I don't mind carbs, but I try to go lower fat content.
Mhm.
So my biggest thing that I actually love is protein pasta because it allows you to feel fuller with less calories and more protein.
Is there a brand you go with or like a go-to brand?
Um, yeah, I would say probably Barilla, however you want to say it. I think it's Barilla, but a lot of people pronounce it both ways.
Mhm.
Um, I think theirs has the best consistency for me. I've tried a couple different brands. That was the one that I started to go with. Um, for breakfast, you're pretty safe with whatever you want to make, honestly. As long as you're not making like a breakfast sandwich every day. I personally think people that are afraid of eggs are crazy. My grandparents are in their 90s and they ate eggs every day. People that are like, oh, cholesterol. And I'm like, not how it works. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's different strokes, right? If you want to do it a certain way and you want to go no carb, obviously, there's a lot of things that have happened recently where people are getting injections. If they want to do that, that's fine. That is not how I did it. Um, it took me quite a while, and I'm just happy with what I do and where I'm at. I like cooking, there's a 3 ingredient dough that you can use for pizza to make it really low calorie that I saw online somewhere. And I was like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to make that. And also, it takes up some time. So you don't find yourself, you know, going to get cheap food and fast food.
Are you a
Uh,
hunter as well?
You know what? I am, I'm not a huge hunter. I'm more of a fisherman. But I've definitely been like duck hunting before and more bird than I am deer. But I do like deer meat, and one of my buddies actually owns a company that does a whole feed process for deer. My buddy Clay that used to play football, and he's incredible and will hit me up anytime that he goes out, and he's like, you want some deer meat? And I'm like, absolutely, I do. Because a lot of people are turned off by it if they've had it before, where somebody just absolutely hammers it and overcooks it. But it's so lean, and it's such a great source of protein. I think it's a really underutilized form of meat.
Well, is it a country music artist's requirement to also have a Traeger grill like in the backyard? Is that
You know what? Based upon the number of country artists that I know that have one, I guess it is. I don't. I do have a grill in my backyard, and I do like to grill, but I do not have a Traeger.
what is like what would your menu be like if there was a party at your house? What would you make that's healthy and just and I guess delicious as well?
Mm. You know what? Actually, if you're gonna bring that up right after what we just talked about, I guess what I would do is probably um some broccoli, potatoes, because a lot of people look at potatoes as bad, but they're actually a really great food source for people, um, as long as they're not French fries. Uh, even though sometimes you should be able to have French fries, it's okay. Uh, I would say broccoli, potatoes, and I do a deer bacon burger that's the binder for the deer meat, so that you have a little bit of fat content so that it doesn't fall apart and you don't have to add an egg or anything like that. And just straight on the grill once over, put it on like a low calorie bun and have at it.
Well, how long did it take you to lose the weight?
I mean, it took most of last year.
Was there one thing you had to eliminate that really made the difference, or was it just a gradual progression of
I will say this. I did not have any alcohol for a good 3 months. And that definitely was a catalyst to get it started. But it's definitely the food and also being in the gym. It's calories in versus calories out at the end of the day. A lot of people like to make up like these really complicated equations on how to do it, and at the end of the day, it is calories in versus calories out.
Now, did you also train like a tight end when you're at the gym, or were you own separate workout?
I mean, at my level, yes.
Play the
Let me
part
put
of
it
a
that
tight
way.
end?
But yeah, at my level. So I was like, I can bench press more than my body weight. I can deadlift quite a bit. I
What are some
mean,
of the
all
numbers?
those things,
What are some of those
yes.
numbers?
Well, I mean, if I say I can bench press more than my body weight and I weigh 250, 255,
Right.
there's that. My deadlift could be better, so I'm not going to say that one. But again, this is also a lot of stuff that I didn't have in my training regimen, and was a lot of stuff that I had to learn. My box jump is great for my height and my weight. But it's also I then, not too long ago, had a buddy of mine who's a songwriter and a producer, and I called him and I was like, "Hey man, will you tell me what the chords are for this?" And he goes, "Hey man, I would, but it's been a while since we wrote that, and I can't actually play piano right now." And I called him. I'm like, "Hey, why can't you play piano right now? It's a song that's on this record. It's called What She Sees in Me." Uh, and he goes, "Yeah, I was doing box jumps the other day, and they fell out from under me, and I broke my arm." So I was like, "That's comforting. That's great information." Uh, but kettlebell swings. I think kettlebells are one of the most fantastic things that exist in the gym. There's so much you can do with them. They're really versatile. You can do so many different areas of your body with them. Um, I don't know. I just have a lot of fun at the gym I'm at. I have a lot of fun with the progress that I've made.
Which training or what exercise, what training translates best, I would say, to to stage presence, to stage performance?
Honestly, when you feel good and look good, or even look better, you perform better.
How does that work? You just have more energy? How?
I don't even know that you have more energy, although you do. I think it's just going through the motions of being on stage and feeling like you're putting the best version of you forward to the crowd, I think makes you feel better.
With that, what would be like on your itinerary for a concert tour? You know,
Um, Honestly, just being able to have time to do everything in one day, because you've got to do, possibly a meet and greet. You've got the show, but then you've got to do sound check. You want to go to a gym if there's one nearby. If there's not one nearby, you got to work out outside with, bands and just equipment that we keep under the bus. Maybe you want to meet one of your friends. So it's just a longer day than people realize. They see, oh, you've got a 75-minute or a 90-minute show, but it's all day. It's all day.
last question I do have is, at a Chris Young tour, at a Chris Young concert, what should new fans expect to see?
Honestly, they're not going to see all of the new songs, but the show intro to adding a couple things from the record are all going to be new. And it's going to be a lot of fun this year. I'm looking forward to it.